Hey guys, welcome back to part 3 of my Brickfilm tutorial. In this time, I'm going to show you what software to use and how to use it to add special effects to your Brickfilms. So the first program I'm going to use is Paint.net. It's completely free. It's basically a free alternative to Photoshop. It's a wonderful program to use. It's a lot simpler, easier to understand than Photoshop, and of course it's completely free. So that it's a wonderful tool to use, I definitely recommend going and downloading it. So that's the first thing you're going to need is go and download it, and once you get it all set up and open, we'll go into File and Open. And then we're going to go down to the picture we took. This background I forgot to take the last time. I didn't take it in the video, but I just took it a few minutes ago. So the first thing we're going to need is our background. You can see there's nothing in it. It's just a plain background of the scene that we use. So then we go here. The next thing we're going to go is go into Layers, Import from File. We're going to find our file here that has the minifigure with the brick on it. Or with standing on a brick. See here? We have this, then we're going to go to this, we have this toolbox here, which is the eraser, pink. You can also use the shortcut key E to, press E to get to it, I believe. Yes, we can use E. So then, or the little white and pink thing, just click on that. And then we're going to go in here and erase everything. So you're going to want to make your brush width about, depending on what kind of brick size you use, I use about 60. But it all kind of depends on what kind of brick you use. If you use a really small brick, you're probably going to want something a little smaller so that you can be more precise. So basically what I'm doing here is erasing this part of the picture, so that the underside of the picture shows, so that the picture that I put underneath, the background, shows up. You can undo it if you make a little mistake. But basically, because the background doesn't always come out good, the coloring can sometimes be off, you kind of want to erase the whole background. Sometimes the coloring comes out okay, and sometimes it doesn't. But you can, in this case, I want to erase the whole background because the color came out a little bit different. So as you can see here, I'm just kind of erasing the whole thing. It's kind of like a painting project actually. Where you just kind of go in here, erase, keep on erasing until you're left with the main figure that you have. So you're going to erase this brick. Very carefully. And like I said, this is just exposing the picture that was underneath. So we have here, and here, and of course your background probably wouldn't need that much erasing. It's just because I forgot to take mine and had to take it at a different time. So it looks a little bit different. Go here, everything up there as close as I dare. You have to be careful. Sometimes it's very easy to go in there and accidentally erase something that you don't want to. But the best way to be precise here is this one I'm going to show you next. Is going to the zoom tool, and then you can go ahead and zoom in, which is you want, and then zoom in here. Actually, zoom out just a little bit, and get to the zoom place that you want, and then go to the eraser. Choose a different width so it's not overly huge. I'm going to use like 20 here. And you can see here you can just erase everything that you need. You have a little bit of color there, it's okay. Then again, it doesn't look as good. You're going to want to spend a lot of time here. Of course, you want to make sure your background is like your pictures are the same as the background as close as possible, because if you're doing a huge animation here, you're going to have to do this for every single picture. I know that sounds daunting. It's actually not so bad when you get used to it. It's a lot of fun. But you want to be sure that you're not you don't have like this background that doesn't even match the color any, like, the slightest bit. Let's see, I'm gonna make sure that your background is close so that you don't end up, getting with problems, having to do this a bunch of times. So I'm just gonna go in the hands there, by the legs, by the hands, and then right here there's that yellow part of the brick. There's all that. If you have little problems like that, just go ahead and undo it. And then I'm gonna go in here and make it even smaller. And just kind of erase there. Cut between his legs too. And there you go. It looks like he's floating. Once we go in here and so you can kind of just straighten out his legs, it doesn't have to be perfect. If you have a little bit of him missing, that's okay. So then we're going to go into the zoom. And there you can see it looks like he's jumping. Cool, right? So then we're going to go into here. We're going to save it. This takes a little bit of work down. Make sure you save it as a JPEG. And that is very important. I'm just going to name it J. It's jump, so J1, that's just how I use it. And then you're gonna say okay. Don't change any of that. You want it to be just the same. To just go ahead and select flatten. This just saves it as a flattened file because it's obviously Viewmaker won't be able to recognize it if it's a like 3D file. It's not gonna recognize it. So then the next thing we're gonna go here, we're just gonna close this out, and don't worry, it will be saved. We're gonna open the same background, but this time when we go into import from file, select the other background, the second one. And you know the drill. Erase, change it up to about 60 or 65. Just pretty much go in and erase. You can even make it bigger if you want. If you're brave, just get a lot done at once. But just keep in mind that you won't be as precise here. But if you have a big background to erase, go ahead, just go for it. You don't want to do that, but be precise. Make sure you be precise, or make sure you are precise after you do this big bulky erasing. So now we can go in and change it to about let's see, 15 or 25. We're going to go into our favorite tool, the zoom tool. Okay, erase. You can make it bigger or smaller, depending on your preferences. Go here, we can use all this. And then the reason why I'm not doing a down animation is because I already have him jumping to that certain height. And what I'm going to do, I'll show you how to put that together in Windows Movie Maker once we put it together. After this video. Of course, that doesn't look the best. Actually, zoom in here, but let me make this a little bit bigger for the sake of my patience and yours too. As you watch this, probably feeling bored already. But don't worry, this is quite a bit. This is fun as you do it. It gets a little monotonous, but it's worth it because your videos will look like professional Hollywood videos as you do this. Trust me, they will. You can go in here and erase a little bit of yellow, or if it's nothing noticeable, it's entirely up to you. Go to the zoom. And of course, remember this is going to be on there for 1/10 of a second, and some people like that perfection. I don't really care if it's not perfect. Some people do, and that's perfectly fine. And that's why their Brickfilms are better than mine a lot of the times. But then you can see there, it still looks good. Just erase that. Okay, perfect. Now we can zoom out. Okay, and you can see there, it's perfect. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna save. I'm going to go to save J2, make sure it's a JPEG. Okay, and then we're going to flatten. And then of course, if you want to make a minifigure fly, you could prop them up like on their stomach, and then, you know, erase the bricks under there. You can pretty much do anything, although make sure that your background has like good color, good lighting, and is almost the same as the one where you have the minifigure with the brick on top, or whatever you use to suspend it to make them go up in the air. Be sure that you that background is good, because otherwise it is a pain to erase like hundreds of pictures like at the same time. Be sure, remember that you don't have to, if you make a minifigure go up, you don't have to make them go down. You can use, you can reuse those pictures of them going up and down, and then it looks more uniform, and a lot better. I'll show you how to do that when we put it all together. So that's it for this tutorial, at least this part. In part 4, I'm going to show you how to make glowing lightsabers, and that is a lot of fun. Very cool effect, so be sure to stay tuned for part 4.